Glad to have you back. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says the Warri Refinery Area 1 has officially resumed operations, producing diesel, kerosene, LPG, and heavy naphtha. The Group Chief Executive Officer of the company, that's NNPCL, Mr. Mele, spoke during the tour of the facility yesterday.
This plant has 3 stages. We have started the plant 1, which is, we call it Area 1, the fuels plant. It is able to produce HGO, kerosene, naphtha, and also a blend of fuel oil. And these are high-grade quality products that are required in the country, and we may also have a need to export them.
These achievements has been enjoyed by Nigerian public because for the first time in more than a decade or 2 decades, we have had the Unitide, which is October, November, December, January years without fuel queues.
Well, let's talk more about this. And a former member representing Jos Southeast Federal Constituency, Mr. Dachung Musabagos, joins me from our Abuja studios. It's good to see you. Compliments of the season.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tolipo. Good afternoon, Nigerians. Compliments of the season. Praying and trusting God that we have a very wonderful new year in a couple of hours to see the 2025.
Indeed. I remember our last conversation, a lot of uncertainties then, you know, looking at the moves of the NNPCL, all that was being done to revamp the refineries. But today, it's another story. First, Port Harcourt is on stream, and yesterday, Warri, in a portion of Warri, that's Area 1 of the facility, is also functional. What is your understanding of all of this, and what does it tell you about the face of Nigeria's oil and gas industry at the moment?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be partisan about this. I'm excited as a Nigerian that seeing what we have talked about for many years, especially being in the National Assembly, what we have queried in the budget even before the PIA, our concern for the Nigerian refineries to come upstream and to really be functional. So seeing Warri coming up yesterday after some weeks that Port Harcourt came up, like, I'm excited as a Nigerian. Let me say I'm proud to be a Nigerian at this very point in time, that, that my generation really could witness what the previous generation witnessed when those refineries were working. And so this is an exciting news. This is very commendable. And again, this is, if there is nothing the president will take as an achievement, he should be excited to celebrate this milestone that the management of NNPC have kept to their words under the leadership of Mele at this particular point in time, that look, this is now working. This is what we want as Nigerians, because this is what we call governance. From the opposition part of it, yeah, I'm not APC member, but again, seeing something work in Nigeria, I'm excited. That look, if we can have every sector that we have complained about in the past, and that we have budgeted funds in the past from the National Assembly, that truly we see value for money, it should be commended. And so this is something that it's quite commendable, and I pray that the management will continue with what they have started. And again, it's not just about coming upstream. You know, monitoring what has come up now is it's quite important, because still commendable to the NNPC. They launched the monitoring command center, PMCC, which will be able to monitor all the operations, how the movement of crude and so on and so forth. So it shows that it's not just for it coming upstream, but they are moving into technology to see that, look, technology, it's part of running NNPC. So it's something that it's quite commendable. And again, when going further, in as much as we had challenges in 2023, an issue with the removal of fuel subsidy, to some of us then, we expected that, look, let the refineries start working before the removal of fuel subsidy, because once the refineries are working, we can now produce, we can now refine our crude, and when you remove fuel subsidy, Nigerians will not feel the impact. So now that the refineries are working, so it's another assignment to the president to look at how can he be able to match action towards that, look, high cost of living, because Nigerians want to practically see that high cost of living has come down. We now no longer have excuse that we are either importing PMS or petroleum products. Within the next 6 months, we should be able to have sufficient products that will be able to go around Nigeria. You have the Port Harcourt, you have the Warri, and we have the private refinery again of Dangote. So when we move into, we will move into this line of boosting infrastructure in the oil and gas industry. It means that we're going to reduce importation and start focusing on exports, because any nation that is not an exporting nation, the microeconomy of that country will definitely, inflation will always go high. So we now have this working for us. So what are those areas within the microeconomy that will be able to wrap all the angles to give us a macro economy that will look into the youth population, will look into unemployment, will look into the poverty rate, because Nigeria, we have so much depend on oil. So now that this is working, so can we holistically look at the economy of the country too? Because the West African region is one of our biggest markets. So once we start looking at taking charge of the region in terms of oil and gas industry, being the crude hub of Africa, then exportation, that will improve infrastructure, that will give the business community the confidence that, look, Nigeria is an enabling environment to be able to conduct business. So these are areas that we want the president to key into, cash into it now that we have these refineries working. Because it's not just about PMS, not just about AGO. There are a lot of byproducts from the crude that the other worlds, other countries are looking for, and at the same time to be able to us look and use some of these byproducts within the country. Today we are talking of CNG, we are talking about gas flaring. So a lot of issues that we need to holistically look at the oil and gas industry. How can Nigeria cash into it? How can the business community cash into it so that we'll be able to boost the infrastructure deficit that we have within the country? And once we boost the infrastructure deficit we have within the country, the issue of energy will be addressed. The issue of light that we are having problem with will be addressed. And once we start boosting, it will naturally reduce the issue of insecurity, because the Nigerian youth will be well engaged, and other areas will boost automatically. The banks will have transactions. The microeconomy in terms of SMEs will have a lot of transactions. So there is a chain reaction from these refineries coming upstream. So, but then the economic team of the president needs to cash in, go back to the drawing board, look at how can we leverage on these refineries, how can we leverage on the byproducts from the refined crude. A lot of things need to come into play to look at addressing these issues. Now we have this opportunity. I expect that as we move into 2025, the economic team of the president should be able to work hand in hand with the management of the NNPC and see how we'll be able to address the issue of poverty, unemployment, and so on and so forth. Because whatsoever we do now, Nigerians want to see the practical reality on ground. Nigerians want to see food on the table. Nigerians want to see that they can drive from point A to point B without being kidnapped. Nigerians want to see that farmers can go to the farm. Nigerians want to see that fertilizer is available. From the coming up of these refineries, all this will be able to have do the byproducts. So it's a very big deal for Nigerians, and the management of the NNPC under Mele Kyari needs to be celebrated at this point in time. Like I said earlier, it's time for governance, not time for politics, so let's take this opportunity very seriously.
I like that. I like that in-depth analysis into what it means, impact on the masses, projections, and what government needs to do. As we have all of these refineries coming on stream, many will talk about crude oil production. And we see government also being very ambitious, targeting about 3 million barrels per day. That's what they are looking at for the year 2025. What do you also make of this, considering the challenges around crude production in Nigeria?
Yeah, because it is very possible if government takes this serious and continue to give NNPC the necessary backup and support, because it's not just about oil in the Niger Delta. We have the Kolmani project in the north of oil exploration, and with the direct. With foreign direct investment of over $3 billion. So I believe that if we start diversifying to look at exploration across the country, especially the one down in the north, Gongola, Bauchi axis, even down to Plateau, Nasarawa, and so on and so forth, they'll be able to meet up that target. Because if we politicize the drilling and production of crude within the country, that's where we're going to have a challenge. But now that we have the refinery upstream, we now know that, look, exploration, going down up north, all the areas that have oil, the ones, the reserve we have within the south, and so when that holistic arrangement between the upstream, midstream, and downstream, the offshore, what we have there. So looking at these areas holistically, I'm very positive that we can meet that, and if not even more, because every single drop of crude oil, it's been well monitored, it's been well managed with the PMCC monitoring technology that NNPC has brought online. I believe that we're going to meet up that target, because for me as a Nigerian, is to see that this target is being met, and that so that Nigerians will have it better off. Because if we don't take this very seriously, by the first quarter of 2025, we should be able to have the report that out of the 3 million that is being targeted, at least they've been able to meet at least 750. The second quarter, 1.5, and last. So the projection should go alongside with data, will show alongside with statistics, should go alongside with commitment from the management of the NNPC, from government, from security agencies, putting together all that needs to be done to see that we meet up that target. Because if we meet up that target, we start boosting our export, our foreign reserve, and so on and so forth. Our debt servicing will go down, because definitely we will no longer need to borrow from other countries or from other organizations to fund the budget. So this is the way out. And I believe that if the president can just focus on this, let it be one of his greatest achievements before he leaves office, because this is like the foundation of everything. And we build whosoever comes in afterwards, build on that. But if we don't build on this, we just make it to be a political statement, then we'll have sabotage that will come in. Because I know that some people might not be happy with this coming upstream, and tomorrow you will see sabotage within the refineries that have started working. So these are issues that we need to protect with all that we have. All Nigerians need to come together, all stakeholders, all elders, within the party ranks, across party needs to come together. Let's support NNPC. Let's protect these refineries with all that we have. And I believe that after that, we'll start even talking about the Ajakuta steel coming up. When all this, Nigeria will be better off. And the youth will start getting employment across board. Then we will definitely have the Nigeria of our dream. Because like from the statement, the GCEO of NNPC made yesterday that is for God and country. That should be the driving force. That whatsoever we are doing, it should be for God and country, not for God, not for country and religion, not for country and ethnicity, but let's be realistic in what we are doing. Let's be passionate. Let's be patriotic. And I've seen the patriotism in the action words of the GCEO of NNPC in bringing up Port Harcourt and Warri within stipulated time. So this, I give kudos to them. So for God and country, let's make this work and let's realize what we need to realize in 2025.
All right. Before we wrap up this conversation, we know before now, the issue of investments in the Nigerian oil and gas industry is something that President Tinubu has also been worried about. And we've seen executive orders, we've seen moves made by government to keep attracting the needed investment into that industry. And recently, the Shell $5 billion the Bonga investment was something that many said was a welcome development. Now, would you say in your thoughts that we should be expecting more investment and that Nigeria is opened for investment in this sector? There are lots of opportunities. Gas is also there that the country is opening up for investors to come in.
Yeah, we should be, any foreign direct investment that will come into the country, we should be able to welcome it. But at the same time, the transparency and accountability around these loans, it's one of the issues that we have problems with in the National Assembly then, that look, with the high level of borrowing, with the high level of grants that are coming into the country at whatsoever level, what are those parameters of transparency around it? These funds are meant for what? So if these funds are meant to boost production within the oil and gas industry, let transparency and accountability be seen in it. So these are very important issues that we need to look into as a country. The fund managers should be able to be so transparent in this. Because, and again, some of the areas that I know that foreign investors have always have issues with, in as much as, and I'm not an economist, that look, the capital base of our banks cannot withstand some of this foreign direct investment. Imagine, okay, for instance, one of the banks, the bank with the highest capital base in Nigeria today is Zenith Bank with about $46 billion. So if we now have foreign direct investment that is coming into the country with about $100 billion, which bank will it be able to go through? Put the capital base of all Nigerian banks is not up to $200 billion. So that again is another big challenge that, look, we need to be able to boost our base to know that, look, the Nigerian economy is strong. Yes, we can celebrate that Nigerian economy is one of the strongest in Africa, but is Africa our target? We are working and discussing with world powers. How can our economy be able to meet that of the world power? So our banks need to be strong enough to see that, look, any investment that will come into the country should be able to withstand the capital base of our banks, should be able to withstand, to see that, look, this is the support that the bank can give out to SMEs. and at the same time, the banks can be able to accommodate. Because now that our refineries are up and doing, there are a lot of investors that will come into the Nigerian oil and gas industry with heavy amounts of money. Those monies need to come through the banks and the CBN. So it's another angle that the CBN and our Nigerian banks need to look at, how they can secure most of this foreign direct investment to be able to support the oil and gas industry. Today we have four refineries. So tomorrow, if Kaduna Refinery is up and doing, which means we have the two Port Harcourt, we have Warri, we have Kaduna, we have the Dangote Refinery. And again, we can refine, exploration is taking place in the north, and so on and so forth. You are going to have a lot of investors that will be interested in investing in the oil and gas industry. So with such amount of money, we should be able to create an economic enabling financial system that can be able to withstand those heavy investments. So the CBN and the economic team need to prepare for the future with the projection 2025, 2026, 27, and so on and so forth. That look, can we be able to accommodate such investment? Because any money that would need to come, as long as the money did not come through through the appropriate channel, which means it will not be taxable. And if it's not taxable, the Nigerian government will not get funds into the federation account to be able to do what is needed into the economy. So these are very important indices that the Nigerian government needs to look into, because investment that will come into the country should come through the appropriate channel so that the financial institutions will be strong, and through such, again, the appropriate tax will be paid to government, and when the appropriate tax is paid into government, I will be able to have adequate funds to be able to do what is needed to fund our budget. But if we allow such investments to come through the back door without appropriate data, appropriate statistics, the banking institutions are not strong enough to accommodate that, then it's still going to be a very big problem for us as a people.
Tachong Musa Bagos, I must thank you so much for your time on the program. Interesting conversation as usual with you, former member representing Jos Southeast Federal Constituency. We'll speak at the new year, and of course, we'll see how things play out. Thank you so very much. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Happy, praying for a blessed new year, and believing that Nigerians will see food on the table in 2025 with this recent development that we are having.
All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.